alive under the lights, speeding fast, hearts racing wild, chasing dreams like a child. Rubber burns the tracks of flame. Who will rise to win the fame? Friday night, the stakes are high. In the blink, cars fly by. NASCAR dreams under the lights. Friday night, we live for the fight. Round and round, never slow down. Victory's the sweetest sound. Drivers push on every turn. Feel the heat, feel the burn. Tires screech, racing so close. Eyes sharp, tight as a ghost. Adrenaline in every vein. Under stars pushing through rain. Side by side, sparks in the night. Every lap chasing the light. NASCAR dreams under the lights. Friday night, we live for the fight. Round and round, never slow down. Victory's the sweetest sound. Drivers push on every turn.
Where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening from the beautiful North Wilkesboro Speedway. These drivers are ready to rock and roll, and no, this is not an all-star race. This is our second race of the playoffs here for the SlingShot Sim Racing Series, powered by Race City Racing Memorabilia. As these drivers are ready to rock and roll, they are ready to go to battle here this evening. And already my boy Ty Dickinson, Sweet T Gang, coming in and setting it off here in this one. Sweet T coming in with the 1,000-star dono. Are you kidding me, Ty? Are you kidding me, brother? 1,000-star dono? What in the world are we even talking about? My gosh, coming in, setting it off. 1,000 stars here to start the stream off. Absolutely insane. As he says, here to suck it up for the views. Oh, for the viewers? Oh, brother, you're sucking something right now. I'm just kidding. That is absolutely insane, brother. I appreciate you coming in, showing the love, and showing off here for all these beautiful, beautiful viewers. Bryce Dickinson showing off as well, says just here to show my pretty car off. My gosh, Bryce, I feel you're gonna do a little bit more than just show your pretty car off here this evening. But you know, this is a very, very tough racetrack. It's a very situational awareness kind of a racetrack. It's short track racing. You gotta really mind your P's and Q's. You gotta make sure you keep yourself out of trouble out there on the speedway and keep your car pointed in the right direction. We're gonna run into a lot of issues here when these drivers, you know, they get onto the gas a little bit too quick or slide them through the corner. Is gonna make things very, very interesting. As qualifying has come to a close, and these drivers will load in behind our official iRacing pace car here for our A main feature event. Our A main is about to get underway as these drivers getting loaded into the sim, each and every single one of them looking for the win here this evening. As Ty says, Dickinsons are here just to be here. Okay, I like that. I like that. Hey, you know what? You're here just so you don't get fined. I appreciate that, brothers. I appreciate that. And Sean Schmidt coming in with the heart reaction. Andrew Hainsley coming in with that share as well. Ty, again, a huge thank you coming in with the 1,000 Star Dono becoming the big D of the day here this evening. As Bryce Dickinson, Brycey Bear with the heart reaction and the share here on the broadcast. Ty coming in with that like as well. Andrew Hainsey with that like on the stream. And Mama Bear! Mama Bear in the house. Susie Dickinson with the heart reaction and says Mama Bear is in the house. Mama Bear is in the house, and that's exactly where we like to see Mama Bear, right in here cheering on all these drivers and up in the broadcast for another amazing race. And ready to cheer on your boys out there on the speedway. Papa Mike, Michael Dickinson coming up the heart reaction as well. How are you, Papa Mike? Papa Mike coming in, showing the big love here in this one as well. And starting on the pole in the McNeil Media, number 48, that is John McNeil, who will start here in our pole position. To his outside, the Anything EC, number 19 is Sean Jensick there in position number 2. Christopher DeWald will start there in that third spot. And Grango Berry blinking a little bit there, supposed to start in position number 4 on the racetrack. Starting in position number 5 is the New Jersey Devils, number 93, and Zach Lockett there in 5th. Into his outside in the high velocity DV, number 13, that is Christian Delgado. Starting in position number 7 in the Voltec RoboCop, the Fallout New Vegas ride, it's the 75 of William McKellar. To his outside in that 3 ride is Ira Colas. Starting in position number 9 in the 43s, the Scary Strokes STP machine, that is Doug Robb. To his outside is the 10 ride of James Smith in the Baltimore Orioles, Dirty Monkey Motorsports, number 10. Johnny Barker there in the 11th position, while Brandon Sanfilippo there to his outside. And then we see Bryce Dickinson in that beautiful, beautiful new-looking ride. This is the first time we're seeing this new-looking ride here for Bryce Dickinson. We see Ty Dickinson right there behind him. Sweet T, is this still a paint scheme you want me to take photos of, brother? I don't know if this is a different one or not, but we do see the Mountain Dew number 20 ride of Russell Martin Jr. out there on the speedway, as Grango Berry, who was supposed to start in 4th, having some connection issues, unfortunately going to be off the speedway here to start this feature event. So a heartbreaker right there, but let's get a good look here at this 84 of Bryce Dickinson, man. This is a very, very fresh looking ride. The Peacemaker Racing Team, END Farms, Papa Mike Promotions, Mama Bear 5.6 Graphics, and number 84 ride, looking very fresh out there on the speedway. This is a beautiful looking ride, man. Look at that beautiful looking car out there on the racetrack. Love the duct tape team on there, the Peacemaker Racing Team on the back of that number 84 ride. And down at a corner number 4, we will see that green flag flying so quickly. We go to battle here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Out in front, it's John McNeil. McNeil out in front, but door to door down the back straightaway into corner number 3. Nice and easy down and out at corner number 4. They will battle once again back to the start-finish line, and it's the 19 of Sean Jensick using the outside lane to put himself here at the front of the field. What a run and what a drive right there on that outside lane for the 19 ride. Sean Jensick showing that he's got a very fast car, a tough car to beat here this evening. Christian Delgado working the outside lane here as well. Delgado's actually worked himself up 3 spots early in this race using that outside lane, and now finds himself inside the top 3, but he's battling hard here with the 82. A little bit of contact there at a corner number 2, and the 82 ride of Christopher DeWald will work himself right back in to that 3rd position. Christian Delgado, after getting that car figured back out, getting it pointed in the right direction, got it rolling here again and pointed in the right way here at corner number 2 as he tries to track back down that 82 machine. The New Jersey Devils, number 93, is Zach Lockett there in 5th with Willie McKellar, Doug Roth, Ira Colas, James Smith, and Brandon Sanfilippo. They're in position number 10, but some contact down into the inside fence goes James Smith. Smith bouncing off that inside wall. Let's take a look back and see what happens. As it looks like just out of corner number 4, getting back onto the throttle here. This is one of those big things they're going to have to be very cautious with throughout the evening. You see that car just lose the rear end, slides right on down, and good contact here with that inside wall right there. Hopefully not too much left front damage for this 10 ride. Hopefully no toe link issues or anything else. You see him trying to turn into the corner, almost almost makes contact right there with that beautiful looking paint scheme of Bryce Dickinson. Ty Dickinson working around him there as well, as he does find his way down pit side. A heartbreaker early on in this race for James Smith out there on the speedway. Grango Berry as well. We do see the Liberty University, Liberty Flames number 71 ride getting back out onto the racetrack. Unfortunately for Grango Berry, he's a couple laps down right now. He's going to have to hope for a few caution flags. Hope to see if he can try to work himself back onto the lead lap here with a couple quick concession caution flags out there on the speedway. Mama Bear says, wow, that was close. That was definitely close right there. I think a lot closer than Bryce Dickinson really wanted it to be down there through 1 and 2. But give it up for all these drivers doing a wonderful job here in this A main feature event. We still see some door-to-door action out there as drivers trying to move themselves closer and closer to the front of the field. The 75 ride of William McKellar keeps trying some different lines here, trying to figure out a way to work himself up inside the top 5. You see the 93 ride of Zach Lockett peering a little bit to the outside of that 13 ride. Lockett looking like he's locked in here this evening, trying to get that New Jersey Devils number 93 ride to the front of the field, as he is all over the back bumper right now of that 13 ride of Christian Delgado. The 82 ride not too far in front of those guys as the 82 of Christopher DeWald trying to track down our top 2 drivers out there on the speedway, as they've now separated themselves here by about 2 seconds over the rest of the field here, as Sean Jensen continuing to lead the way. John McNeil hanging right there with him, only a couple car lengths between our top 2 cars here on the speedway. 2 seconds back, you do see that 82 of Christopher DeWald, Christian Delgado. McKellar now working himself around Zach Lockett, so Lockett slides back to 6. McKellar now up and inside the top 5, but that battle may not be over yet, as the 93 trying to reel him back in. Doug Roth right there, ready to strike, as the STP Scary Strokes number 43 rolls there in the 7th position. Then we see Ira Golis, Johnny Barker there in position number 9, and Brandon Sanfilippo there in position number 12. It was Sanfilippo, number 12 machine, rolling there in that 10th position. He's got a pair of Dickinsons back there behind him, as that is Bryce Dickinson there in position number 11. He's got Ty Dickinson right there behind him. Russell Martin Jr. back there in 13th, with Andrew Ainsley there in the 14th position. Andrew trying to keep himself out of the wall right there in quarter 1 and 2. Behind him, we do see Greg O'Berry, who's on the racetrack. Unfortunately for Greg, I do believe he's at least 3 laps down here on the speedway, and our race leaders are right here behind him. They are not too far away, and we do see that 10 ride of James Smith still down pit side. So a heartbreaker for James Smith. Early contact with that inside wall, is out in front. Sean Jensick continuing to lead the way here in the SlingShot Sim Racing Series, powered by Race City Racing Memorabilia, for playoff race number 2 here on the evening. We do see the 10 ride of James Smith trying to work himself back out onto the racetrack here. Luckily enough, not quite on the speedway, so no caution flag. Hopefully we don't see one. He does get that car rolling, in no yellow for the 10 ride, pulling back out onto the speedway. We love to see that, as that could have definitely been a yellow flag with him parked down there on the bottom side of quarter number 1. And Sean Jensick out in front, starting to stretch that lead out more and more and more here. He's got about a second now, a little over a second between himself and John McNeil. McNeil sliding backwards here, still has about 2 seconds between himself and Christopher DeWald. So looks like Sean Jensick starting to run away with this one. As Charles says, I'm spotting and thought he was dead. Yeah, Charles, we definitely thought he was dead there in that one. That was too close for comfort for the 84 ride of Bryce Dickinson, as that 10 ride bouncing off that inside wall, unfortunately just could not get that car to turn down into corner number 1, and he almost collected that beautiful new looking ride for Bryce Dickinson. Lucky break there for that 84 ride, and lucky break for everyone else. No caution flag. We keep it clean and green here this evening, but right now I think the field is hoping to see a caution flag, especially Andrew Ainsley unfortunately, as he's the next driver to potentially go a lap down here. Is the 19 going to roll down to his inside? He will try to make the pass on the Dallas Stars, number 29, and unfortunately for Andrew, now a lap down here on the Speedway, but right now he is in that free pass position, so if a caution flag were to be thrown, he would get that wave around and back onto the lead lap. That's an unfortunate break for Greg O'Berry as well, as O'Berry already a few laps down here on the Speedway, and unfortunately for the 71 ride, he wanted to see him be the only car down multiple laps here on the racetrack, and a bunch of caution flags to continuously keep on flying, and that may have worked himself into back onto the lead lap after supposed to be starting in the 4th position. Blinked at the start-finish line, disappeared for a little bit, so I'm not sure if he ended up losing connection to the server and had to reload back in. And unfortunately, by the time he reloaded back into the server, he found himself 3 laps down in this race. And Sean Jensick back there behind him, trying to reel him in here, trying to put him another lap down out there on the Speedway. John McNeil there in position number 2. Christopher DeWald back there in 3rd. Christian Delgado hanging on to that 4th spot as Zach Lockett now back up and inside the top 5 as he's worked himself back around the 75 here of Willie McKellar. So McKellar back to 6th is Doug Groff there in 7th. Ira Cole is there in 8th. Johnny Barker back there in the 9th spot, and Brandon Sanfilippo there in position number 10 on the Speedway. Bryce Dickinson there in 11th, and we see Russell Martin Jr. in the Mountain Dew number 20 ride out there on the Speedway, and Ty Dickinson rounding out our top 13. Ty is right now the last car on the lead lap. He's about 14 seconds back of our race leader, so he's about 5 seconds, 6 seconds away from potentially going a lap down here himself. The 10 ride right there behind him is James Smith at the back of the pack in the 16th position. He is a lot of laps down. Andrew Hainsley, first car 1 lap down out there on the racetrack, currently scored in the 14th position. And Greg O'Berry, multiple laps down as well in the 71, back here in the 15th spot on the racetrack. And Sean Jensick continuing to lead the way, continuing to stretch out that lead more and more and more. He's got almost 3 seconds between himself and John McNeil now, as McNeil was hanging right there with him, didn't get off his back bumper for quite a few laps on these fresh tires, but as the laps continue to click down, this 48 ride unfortunately continues to slide farther and farther and farther away now from that number 19 ride. The gap has now grown over 3 seconds between our first and second place drivers on the racetrack, and right now he just continues to lay down some great lap times. Fastest lap times out there on the Speedway. He was about 3/10 quicker, 2/10 quicker than everybody else out there on the track that last time around, as we do see an unfortunate break here. Christopher DeWald sliding back quite a ways here. DeWald ends up back in about the 10th position now, as this 82 ride's been dropping like a rock here. I'm not sure if he ran into any issues here, if he maybe got into the outside fence or not. He blinks a little bit down the back straightaway, so a tough break for the Liberty University rides here this evening, as both of them have now ran into some issues blinking on the racetrack, and unfortunately for that 82, he doesn't reappear back onto the racetrack until he's all the way back in that 10th position. So a tough break right there for Christopher DeWalt, going from 3rd all the way back to 10th now on the Speedway. And Sean Jensick out in front, showing these drivers how to get it done. Mama Bear says same. Charles Barnes, I thought not again. Listen, I think we all thought not again for Brycey Bear, man. That was so far our closest to having a yellow flag here this evening, and luckily enough for Brycey Bear, he was able to keep himself out of trouble. But right now, we see his brother Ty Dickinson, Sweet Pea Gang, here himself in the E&D Farms Papa Mike Promotions Peacemaker Gaming number 67 ride, the Peacemaker Racing Team machine, unfortunately sliding back now to position number 13 here on the Speedway, and he is now a lap down, as that was our race leader Sean Jensick, who was able to pull up in front of him and pull away away from that number 67 ride. Unfortunately for Ty, he is now a lap down, but he's currently in that free pass position. Has a little bit of a gap between himself and Russell Martin Jr. here. If Russell can try to stay on the lead lap here himself, these next three cars, is he about to pass the 29 ride of Andrew Hainsley? The three cars right here behind him, a little bit of a bumper back to our race leader, Sean Jensick, on the same straightaway now as that 20 ride. We see a caution flag fly before he can reach that 20 of Russell Martin Jr. Ty Dickinson is in that free pass position and could get waved back onto the lead lap with the lucky dog here this evening. As Jensick continues to lead the way, continues to stretch out that lead. It's now about 5 seconds between himself and John McNeil. McNeil back here, just across the line, is down through 1 and out of 2. We see our race leader here in that 19 machine, so he's about a straightaway ahead of our second place driver, Christian Delgado. The second and a half back there in third. Then we see Zach Lockett, William McKellar rounding out our top 5 here on the Speedway. Doug Robb, Johnny Barker, Brandon Sanfilippo, and Ira Colas, Christopher DeWall rounding out our top 10 here on the Speedway. Yo, Jake Stefanski, my boy Jake coming in, showing the love with the like on the stream. How are you, Jake? Charles Barnes coming in as well with that heart reaction. Joshua Kreider coming in, dropping that thumbs up here on the broadcast. Nelson Johns with the like on the stream as well. How are you, Nelson? How are you, Joshua? Coming in, showing the love here this evening. Mr. Barnes, always good to see you up here in the broadcast booth, showing the love here this evening. And Jake Stefanski coming in, showing the love as well as Bones. What's good, Bones? Bones Duns coming in, showing the love over there on YouTube as well. How are you, Bones? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day. Hopefully you're enjoying the racing action here with the SlingShot Sim Racing Series. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, these guys put on a heck of a show and a heck of a race for us already here in this one. Is 40 plus laps of racing action already into the history books here in this one. They are clicking these laps off in a quick hurry as we are already rolling in towards our halfway marker here. Halfway marker going to come around that lap 65 area, so we're at least over a third of the way through this race, but we're getting closer and closer to that halfway marker here this evening. So this is going to be an exciting race, an exciting run here for these drivers as the laps are clicking down in a quick hurry, and Sean Jensick does not seem like he's slowing down one little bit out there on the speedway. Still currently the only driver running laps in the 19-second bracket. Everybody else is outside the 20s here, running 2027s, 2023s, 2038s. A little bit of 2020s, and we do see Christopher DeWalt, his teammate, running a 2016 as the next closest lap time. So he's still running 2/10, 3/10, 4/10 quicker than all these other drivers out there on the racetrack. And you see right now that 19 of Jensick going to put another car between himself and our second place driver as he will put that number 20 of Russell Martin Jr. a lap down. Now moving around the 84 of Bryce Dickinson as well as Bryce trying to hang on to position number 11 here on the speedway. Russell Martin right there behind him ready to pounce, but you do see that 19 unfortunately putting a couple more competitors a lap down out there on the speedway. Joshua Neal, Mr. Neal coming in, showing the love. How are you, brother? Coming in, smash that thumbs up here on the broadcast. Carol Hainsley coming in with the love as well, smashing the thumbs up here in this one. Says you go, number 29, cheering on Mr. Andrew Hainsley out there on the speedways. Andrew in that 29 ride, trying to hang on to this ride, but I think there's a lot of drivers in the field right now that are trying to just keep these cars underneath of them and pointed in the right direction and not running into issues out there on the speedway. And unfortunately, we've seen already a lot of competitors go a lap down here, as right now we have 10 cars left on the lead lap. Bryce Dickinson currently in that free pass position, but you see right here behind our 10th place driver and our 9th place driver, the good wrench, Dale Earnhardt Sr. ride of Ira Colas and Christopher DeWall. They round out our top 10, and right there behind them is our race leader. Here comes that number 19 ride, slowly but surely tracking them down, looking to try to catch up to them and put them a lap down here in a quick hurry out there on the speedway. One of the other drivers still running very good lap times, very competitive lap times here, has a little bit better tires, but unfortunately going to be stuck here, laps down out there on the speedway. He's either going to need some wave arounds, he's going to need a lot of caution flags for Lucky Dogs to work himself back onto the lead lap now, especially with more drivers going a lap or multiple laps down out there on the racetrack. So it's going to make this job even tougher for the 71 ride of Greg O'Berry here this evening, as he unfortunately lost connection to the server before our feature event got underway. By the time he loaded in, he was already a couple laps down out there on the racetrack, but running great lap times, still very fast. Looks like he could have a car that could compete for potentially the win here this evening. Unfortunately for him, he is mired back there deep in traffic and unfortunately deep in the field here, being down laps on the racetrack is Kevin Timmy. My boy Bubba coming in, showing the love. How are you, Bubba? Bubba coming in, showing the big love here in this one. Dropping the like on the stream. How are you, Bubba? How you doing this evening? Coming in, showing the love here tonight. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, please make sure you do us a favor. Hit that like button. Hit that share button. Hit that follow and subscribe button. As these drivers with the SlingShot Sim Racing Series in 2024, the Race City Racing memorabilia sponsored event here this evening, putting on a heck of a show for us, a heck of a race for playoff race number 2. Things are looking very, very smooth and very beautiful out there on the racetrack. And right now, Sean Jensick looking to put himself into victory lane, looking to punch his ticket straight on through and into the next round of our playoffs here. And he's got a 9-second lead between himself and that 48 right of John McNeil. I think the last thing that Sean Jensick wants to see right now is a caution flag. He wants to see this race go clean and green, and I think if we do it, that 19 ride, he's got enough time. He may be able to lap the entire field here this evening. As Caden Murphy says, let's see some of McNeil holding that 2-spot strong. Yeah, McNeil's doing a great job. Early in this race. He got a good advantage hanging with that 19 ride, especially on the fresh tires. He was right there with them, didn't let him run away, put the pressure on the back bumper of that 19 ride. Took about 7, 8, 10 laps until we really started to see that 19 ride pull away and start to pull farther and farther away from this 48 ride of John McNeil, as Christian Delgado right there behind him has closed the gap between these two for that second spot. Zach Lockett right there ready to pounce, as well as Willie McKellar. As the rest of our top 5 all right there on top of each other. Doug Roth right there as well. Then we see a bit of a gap here between our 6th place competitor and our 7th place driver, the 5 of Johnny Barker. Barker back here in position number 7 on the speedway. He's got Brandon Sanfilippo right there behind him, and the 71 ride of Greg O'Berry moving around him, but you can see Christopher DeWalt, Ira Colas right here as well, still on the lead lap, but Sean Jensick is closing in here as he continues to build this lead. Over 10 seconds now between himself and John McNeil, as a crazy amount of laps have already been run as we hit lap number 60, and we see our first caution flag of the day. Our first caution flag here this evening, and it looks like Sweet Tea Gang, the E&D Farms, Papa Mike Promotions, number 67 of Ty Dickinson, going to run into some issues here right in front of our race leader. Sean Jensick back there behind him, and almost virtually what we saw early in this race with the 10 ride of James Smith. You'll just see this 67 come out at corner number 4, gets onto the throttle, the rear end steps out and around. James Smith was able to keep this car pointed in the right direction. Unfortunately, the 10 ride did make contact with that inside wall early in the race. Or here you see the 67 unfortunately get around a little bit more and noses it into that inside fence once he's sideways on the speedway and stopped right there. That's when the caution flag is going to be thrown. And unfortunately for the Papa Mike Promotions E&D Farms, number 67 of Ty Dickinson, he's back here in that 13th position and not in place for the free pass, but he is going to get an extra little bit of benefactor here and a little bit of extra brotherly love as Bryce Dickinson is going to get that free pass. Bryce will work himself back onto the lead lap here. So a lucky break for the E&D Farms Papa Bike Promotions Peacemaker Racing Team number 84. As Bryce Dickinson now back onto the lead lap, ready to rock and roll, ready to try to put this very fancy new looking paint scheme up here and potentially better his position out there on the racetrack, as we'll get him stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, hit that like button, hit that share button, and hit that follow and subscribe button, as we're going to get a quick word in from our sponsors over at Scary Strokes as we roll up to our halfway mark here this evening.
Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Grow your next birthday with our VIP Party Pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of
Alrighty, so we're going to get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Get ready for a show here. We'll see if that 19 ride can continue to be as fast out there on the speedway. Is that huge lead of his unfortunately going to be evaporated here this evening? So the lead has gone away for the 19 ride as we go back to Green Flag Racing. Jensic out in front of 48 of McNeil right there behind him as door to door, almost 3 wide here out of quarter number 2. As Jensic leads the way, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up. We're going to crank it up right here, right now, ladies and gentlemen. So crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver is Jensic, trying to pull away from a hornet's nest back there behind him. Contact caution flag, scratch that idea. We'll go to the crank it up here during our next break here, our next green flag restart. As you guys get the sights and sounds here is a little bit too much rubbing and scrubbing, everyone trying to get what they can here on this restart. And unfortunately, you see that 5 ride, the Wolfpack Racing ride, gonna try to make it a little 3 wide right here, gets up the racetrack, gets into that left rear corner panel of the 43. Doug Roth unfortunately sends Roth sideways. The 5 ride going sideways as well. Little contact there for the 82. And then there goes the 75 ride as well. Head on with the 71 of Greg O'Berry. Quite a bit of damage. Quite a bit of contact there for those competitors. Doug Roth, quite a bit of damage for the STP number 43, the Scary Strokes ride. Quite a bit of damage there as well for the Wolfpack Racing ride, and a tough hit as well for Greg O'Berry, as O'Berry really just nowhere to go here in this one, trying to mind his P's and Q's. He sees everyone stacking up in front of him, and he's still going to get some contact right here as the 75 of McKellar comes down the racetrack in head-on collision here on the front straightaway in North Wilkesboro Speedway. Really going to mix things up here for these drivers as we'll get them ready to rock and roll here once again. Drivers down pit side getting repairs done, as you see Johnny Barker down there, William McKellar down pit side, both trying to get their cars repaired and back out onto the speedway without losing a lap, and looks like they will accomplish that as they beat the pace car back around them here. So Good piece of driving, heads up down pit side to make sure they don't make those mistakes. Mr. Fowler, how are you, John boy? John coming in showing the love here in this one. How are you, brother? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day here, Mr. Fowler. And listen, brother, we got a little something here for you as well. We remembered here late, but we should hopefully have. I'm going to do a couple things here to the logo you sent me. I actually did forget about that until I saw you like the broadcast, so it's a good thing you're in here because I don't want to forget about it. I want to make sure I get that logo implemented right now. I just got to make sure I can get it into a PNG file as, let me see here. Here we go. We just got to find it here. We got to kind of transfer this over, make it a transparent background for you, and hopefully we'll get this logo working and up onto the broadcast here as the complete graphics coming on board here with us in this one. We are excited to have complete motorsports and complete graphics coming on board here with the SlingShot Sim Racing Series, powered by Race City Racing Memorabilia, and now powered by Complete Motorsports here in this one, as we're going to get their logo up and onto the main stream here. Let's see if we can get that on there and give you guys a good look at what it looks like. It should pop up here in a second or two. Let me make sure it's in the correct spot. Let me make sure it's there, and then we can get a good look at this logo. There we go, the Complete Motorsports logo now onto the broadcast as we will see the caution flag come to a close, and we're going to get ready to go to battle here once again. The SlingShot Sim Racing Series here in this one. So many S's, got a little tongue-tied there. As we are back to Green Flag Racing, we will go back to our Peacemaker Gaming. Crank it up. So crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers here this evening as we crank it up. Once again, here with the SlingShot Sim Racing Series, powered by Race City Racing Memorabilia. Alrighty, as the caution flag is going to come back out here once again. I believe this will bring a close to our Peacemaker Gaming Crank It Up here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, as clearly things are not getting cranked up. They are going to get turned down here as we will take a look back and see what brings out our caution flag here once again, as it looks like more tough breaks for the number 67 to Ty Dickinson. Ty Dickinson going to run into some more issues here. The Sweet Tea Gang number 84 ride having some more issues. Now parked down pit side is the E&D Farms number 67 ride. Virtually exactly what he did to bring out the first caution flag of the day. He will bring out caution flag number 3 here as cautions breed cautions here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. And there you see that Mama Bear, Papa Mike Promotions, E&D Farms, Peacemaker Racing Team, and number 67 ride go for a spin. Let's see if we can jump on board here. Watch the hands of the 67 ride is down through the corner, just trying to roll the bottom side, getting back onto the throttle. Unfortunately, gets back onto the throttle a little bit too much, and around that car goes. And unfortunately, that is the tough part about this speedway. We talked about it early on in the feature event about how difficult it is to keep the tires underneath of you here, especially rolling back onto the throttle. Think of this a lot like a Richmond style of a racetrack, but even a little bit more aggressive here with a lot of character, a lot of bumps and bruises out there on the speedway, and unfortunately can tear up a lot of race cars in a quick hurry. As Ty says, me no like this track. Me no like this track. That is true. And hey, at least he's consistent, says Michael Dickinson. He is consistent. He is consistent. And yes, unfortunately, Lane, crank it up. Caution number 2 in this one. The crank it up caution flags, they seem to strike always here with us. Unfortunately, as Lane says, crank it up cautions. Bug Ty's computer. Don't blame yourself, Ty. It's the crank it up. It's gotta be the crank it up. It's gotta be the crank it up. No doubt about it. No, don't watch my hands. Oh, we watching the hands, brother. We're watching the hands. We want to see what's going on in behind the wheel and what you're doing there is Dakota Elliott. Dakota coming in with the like on the stream. How are you, Dakota? John Fowler coming in as well with the thumbs up here on the broadcast. John says, boom, as we put that brand new logo onto the broadcast here for the beautiful number 94 ride, who's usually out there on the speedway. Unfortunately, no Mr. Fowler here this evening. He is on vacation, and he's away. He's having some good time with his son down in the military. I'm not sure where exactly they're at for their vacation, but I've seen John's Facebook posts. They've been hanging out, they've been adventuring, going on hikes, and doing some pretty cool things, some pretty crazy things. And it's amazing to see Mr. Fowler get to spend some good quality family time there with his son, who's currently in the military. So love to see that for you, brother. As Ty says, I'm out now. I'm just trying to survive. Instead, I took myself out twice. It happens to the best of us, Ty. It happens to the best of us as we are back to green flag racing. The green flag back out into the air here. Sean Jensen sees that green flag fly here in this one as these drivers rocking and rolling again on the speedways. The laps continue to get clicked down here once again. If we see a long green flag run starting to brew here once again, maybe, potentially, we will go back to a crank it up. But as of right now, we're going to stay clean and green and locked onto all these amazing drivers. As you do see Bryce Dickinson up inside the top 5. Some contact in front of him. Doug Roth hard down into the inside wall. Roth is going to be able to keep that car rolling here. No caution flag on the speedway. We stay clean and green as Roth with heavy left front damage here is down the back straightaway. You're going to see this 43 ride get a little loose right there. He tries to save it. Unfortunately, overcranks it, noses it up into the outside fence, and then some pretty good damage on the front end of the 13 of Christian Delgado as he noses into the back end of that number 43 and Doug Roth. Man, oh man, oh man, this is an unfortunate break here for Mr. Roth as you watch this car just shoot down the racetrack after that contact in hard into the North Wilkesboro red and white inside metal retaining wall. So he will take that car down pit side here with heavy right and left front damage here as out in front. Giving the left and right, so the rest of the field here in a fight for the win and running away with this one. He's been the reflection of perfection here all evening long. Took that race lead away on lap number 1 from our pole setter, the 48 of John McNeil. And now we see the 19 rider Sean Jensick just continuing to click these laps off, continue to put himself into victory lane, as Lane says. And it's Mr. Fowler's birthday as well. John, it's your birthday today? It's not your birthday. Is it your birthday, Johnny? John, I'm going to have to check Facebook. Facebook lets me know it is your birthday. John Mother freaking Fowler, happy birthday, my dude. Happy birthday, brother. Hopefully you have yourself an absolutely amazing birthday, man. Hopefully you got to enjoy some quality time again with your son, your wife, and the rest of the family. Hopefully you guys got to celebrate your birthday in fashion here this year, and hopefully you got some cake and maybe some loving, some smooches or something for your birthday. What did you get for your birthday? Now we want to know. Now we want to know, as John says, yes sir, 42, brother. Woo, 42. That's coming up on me way quicker than I wish it was, as unfortunately I turned 30. The big 3-0 here. In less than a month, we're like 25 days away from turning 30. Oh my gosh, that is a scary thought, ladies and gentlemen. That's a scary thought. Turning the big 3-0, the dirty 30 here in just a little bit. And trust me, we're going to be throwing an absolute banger of a party here in the broadcast gates. We do got a broadcast on my birthday, so we will be live for that. And we may have to do something special, you know, maybe later on or throughout early morning or something to celebrate the dirty 30. As we do see the 43 and Doug Roth rolling back out onto the racetrack here. No caution flag for the 43 as he's still down in the grass here and off the speedway, trying to get this car back out there, as unfortunately he's going to stay on the grass and he will take this car right back down pit side. So a tough break again for the Scary Strokes number 43 ride, as Sean Jensick does lead the way, as John Schmidt says, come on Bryce, Grandma always says top four, top four. I think Bryce Dickinson would be pretty ecstatic with that, as right now he's stuck on the outside here of a little two-wide battle. We do see Brandon Sanfilippo able to work himself around the number 84, and now Bryce is trying to hold on and hold off this 75 ride of William McKellar, as McKellar working down to his inside, but he is going to find a hole right there. So the E&D Farms Pump Bike Promotion Sweet Tea Gang Peacemaker Racing Team number 84 ride does slide into position number 8 here, and he's trying to keep that 75 of McKellar back there behind him. The 3 of Ira Colas and the 20 ride of Russell Martin Jr. down pit side here. Russell Martin running into issues as well in the Mountain Dew number 20 ride. Let's take a look and see what happens here to this 20 machine as he's rolling out there on the speedway. Maybe gets loose here at a corner number 4. That's exactly what happens. Getting back onto the gas. We saw this happen with the 10 ride of James Smith early in the race, was able to keep on rolling without a yellow flag, but now we do see a yellow flag due to William McKellar running into issues. But that's not the first car we've seen run into that problem, and heavy left front damage there for that Mountain Dew number 20 ride of Russell Martin Jr. as we see William McKellar running into issues as well, as he continues to work right here behind this 84 of Bryce Dickinson, looking to get a big run down to his inside. I'm not sure if there's contact, but he tries to save it, overcorrects it, unfortunately gets a little contact there from the 3 ride of Ira Colas, and goes around, stopped on the racetrack, and unfortunately that will bring our caution flag back out. Now we'll take a look here and see if there's any contact between these two competitors, as Bryce on the outside lane, giving him plenty of room down through corner number 4. And we're going to see the 75 just come up the speedway here, trying to follow in towards the wall here with the 84. Unfortunately, just gets up a little bit too high, a little too quick, makes contact there with that 618 engraving, number 84 ride. And then as he's trying to correct it, trying to keep this car pointed the right direction, Ira Colas comes in, makes some contact there with him. And unfortunately, he goes around, locks this car up, and draws our fifth caution flag now. 5th caution flag on the day here in this one, as we'll get these drivers down pit side. Drivers taking some extra pit stops here, so it's going to be interesting to see. We do see Christian Delgado staying out. John McNeil looks like he may have stayed out as well, or took a quicker pit stop, maybe 2 tires, and able to leapfrog the number 19 of Sean Jensick. So Jensick now back into the 3rd spot here for the restart, as Zach Lockett there in 4th. Brandon Sanfilippo will be in the 5th spot. Johnny Barker, Bryce Dickinson, Christopher DeWald, William McKellar, Ira Colas, our top 10 here on the speedway, as I do believe Andrew Hainsley going to get that free pass. He's going to get that lucky dog and back onto the lead lap here for this Dallas Cowboys Camaro here this evening. So Andrew Hainsley back into the mix of things here this evening, and now Greg O'Berry sees that he's the next car in line to get some laps back here. He's needing a lot of laps back in a quick hurry. He's going to need a bunch of caution flags to try to get himself back into contention right now, and unfortunately he's going to be looking for a wave around right now, going to be on older tires, and now going to be just hoping for a abundance of caution flags and hoping cautions breed cautions, but he is running out of time desperately out there on the racetrack, as they are going to get that wave around. I do believe this time by. And lights are off the official iRacing pace car. So we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing. As we do see James Smith also getting that wave around here back onto the, not the lead lap, but getting at least a lap back here. So yeah, just trying to survive a little bit as we do see Russell Martin Jr. still down pit side. Ty Dickinson there in the E&D Farms, Papa Mike Promotions, Peacemaker Gaming, number 67 ride there in position. Number 16 here, still down pit side. Doug Roth off the racetrack there in the 15th position. So a tough break for Doug Roth as we go back to green flag racing. So a little bit of different pit strategy here. We'll have to wait and see how this one plays out as the different pit strategies may be able to put themselves into victory lane as John McNeil and Christian Delgado 1 and 2 here on the Speedway. But here comes that number 19 of Sean Jensick. These are some of the first laps that he has not led here this evening in playoff race number 2. They watch up the racetrack there. It opens up the door down low for 3-1 for the race lead. The 13 not going to back down. Contact as the 13 comes down the racetrack. He's going to wash up into the 48 ride. There goes the 19 of Jensick to the race lead here once again. The 93 is Zach Lockett working to his outside, but contact. Jensick almost goes around. Caution flag on the Speedway. The caution flag is going to come out here as a few more drivers running into issues down the back stretches. We'll take a look here and see what happens as this kind of got a little wild. So the 19 gets a big run right here as we'll see the 13 get in a little bit deep into quarter number 1 right here at the bottom of the screen. He washes up the racetrack, and unfortunately, as that 13 of Christian Delgado washes up the track, you're going to watch him come down the racetrack here. Is the 19 ride of Jensick trying to work down low. They make a little contact on corner exit. The 13 trying to crowd him down there, hoping to not give him a good run down the back straightaway. The 13, I don't know if he thought he was clear or just trying to make sure he was clear. Here comes down the racetrack. Unfortunately, it just clips the front end of the 19 of Sean Jensick. Jensick trying to push that car to the front of the field. Unfortunately, gets into him there and shoves him down into corner number 3, and that shoves the 13 ride up the Speedway as he gets up the track. He gets into the 48, the McNeil media ride of John McNeil, getting quite a bit of contact, not only a couple times there as he gets back into that 13 ride, comes down the Speedway trying to get a good run down the front straightaway here. Unfortunately, with that damage on that number 48, we'll take a look here at the 48 ride at John McNeil as he's going to send it into the corner down low. Unfortunately, looks like he's just going to send it in there a little bit too deep, and he's going to end up getting into the back end and right there into that left rear area of the 19 ride of Sean Jensick. That's going to get Jensick drifting through the corner here. The 93 ride just barely getting some contact there onto him as McNeil does go around here. We also saw more contact back there behind him as well, as I do believe the number 82 ride running into some issues here as well. Christopher DeWald and the 84 Bryce Dickinson. See Bryce sliding around there. You'll see the 82 ride. I'm not sure what happened here to McNeil, but he gets loose as well. See both these drivers, the 84 and the 82. Bryce down low is going to get into the inside fence as the 82 trying to save it. He's going to go around here and up into the outside wall as he noses it into the fence. Here comes the 3 ride of Ira Colas, who's going to come in and get right in there. Gets a big piece of them there. Some pretty good damage for that 3 machine as well. So a lot of tore-up race cars out there on the racetrack. I don't think Bryce Dickinson ended up with too much more damage after his spin. For the most part, was able to keep it out of the fence for a lot of that one. Maybe just a little bit of rear-end damage right here as he slides and just backs it into that inside wall right there. But good piece of driving there for that number 84. As we'll get them stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing now. The initial caution flag wasn't for the 19 or the 48 down through quarter 1 and 2. It was for the 82 ride in the 84 sliding down the front straightaway. That's what the caution flag was for. After the caution flag was thrown, we saw that contact between the 48 of John McNeil and the 19 of Sean Jensick. So that keeps Sean Jensick, who was able to keep pace, did not go around, was not part of the caution because he didn't go around on the Speedway or get stopped on the racetrack. It keeps him at the front of the field as down through the Geico restart zone. around. We go back to green flag racing. Jensic with a great restart there in the 19. He's going to look to try to run away with this one. Zach Lockett back there behind him is locked in. Lockett trying to stay in position number 2. Has Johnny Barker working down to his inside. Has the Lone Wolf Racing number 5 ride working the inside here of the number 93. You see the 13 of Christian Delgado right there ready to pounce as well. Is Delgado there in position number 4. Brandon Sanfilippo back there in that 5th position. Here comes John McNeil, or William McKellar and John McNeil here on the speedway as they run right now in the 6th and 7th position. But looks like Johnny Barker gonna run into some issues here himself. The 5 ride, the Wolf Pack Racing Machine. He's gonna get loose out at corner number 4. We'll take a look at it right there. Gets loose. Gets that car pointed back in the right direction, does kiss that inside wall, but keeps that car rolling, does not get stuck, and does not go around, so no caution flag. But unfortunately for Johnny Barker, takes him from 3rd. Now all the way back to the 9th position on the speedway. Then allowed Ira Coolis and Bryce Dickinson to both get around that number 5 machine here in this one. Is out in front, Jensic gonna click off another lap as we get closer and closer to the checker flag here in this one. Lucky number 13 up on the board is down into corner number 3, and out at corner number 4 we will see a dozen laps of racing action left here this evening, and it is all the anything easy sparkle and shine number 19 of Sean Jensic as he leads the way. But now you see Christian Delgado getting back up into 2nd, so Delgado looking to try to mount a challenge late in this race, finds himself a way up into position number 2, is locked in Lockett. Zach Lockett slides back now to that 3rd spot on the speedway. Brandon Sanfilippo there in position number 4, and looking for Morris McKellar right there in that 5th position, getting very loose there out at corner number 2 on the speedway, able to keep that 75 pointed in the right direction and still hanging on to that 5th position here on the speedway. John McNeil there in position number 6, as unfortunately for the 82 ride of Christopher DeWald, he does unfortunately go a lap down there in that 82 ride. So he has currently scored a lap down in that free pass position though on the speedway. It's John McNeil right there behind him in that 6th position. The 71 ride of Brango Berry also a lap or 2 down here on the speedway. I do believe he's 1 lap down now and looking for that free pass position. His teammate Christopher DeWalt currently has it right now in front of him. If another caution flag were to come out, that is the battle for the free pass spot on the speedway between Christopher DeWalt and Brango Berry, as Bryce Dickinson there in 7th on the racetrack. Johnny Barker back there behind him. Ira Golis there in the 9th position, and Andrew Hainsley rounding out our top 10 here on the speedway. As we do see the caution flag fly, so the caution flag will be displayed, and it looks like the 82 of Christopher DeWald in that free pass position. Brango Berry all race long has been trying to work himself back to the lead lap. He's taking some wave rounds. He's worked himself back to 1 lap down, and he was so close to getting that free pass. He's now going to need another caution flag to get that free pass. The lucky dog here is right now his teammate Christopher DeWald is going to take that lucky dog wave around and put himself back onto the lead lap here this evening. As drivers are going to try to stay out here. Doesn't look like too many coming down pit side. We do see Ira Colas and Andrew Hainsley both headed down pit road, as we'll take a look back and see what brings out our caution flag, as I do believe the 10 ride of James Smith running into some issues right here off quarter number 2. That car just gets sideways on the speedway. Unfortunately, it stopped and parked down here on the bottom side of the back straightaway, and as he rolls back on, the caution flag will be thrown for the Old Bay Toyota of Mr. Smith, and that will bring out what could be our potential final caution flag here of the evening. As we'll get them stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you guys have enjoyed the racing action so far this evening, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, and hit that follow and or subscribe button, as we'll get a quick word in here from our sponsors over at Scary Strokes.
Where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP Party Pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP Party Pack.
Alrighty, as we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing, looks like it is going to be a green-white checkered finish. Here, possibly our final restart is down through the Geico restart zone. The 19 rider Sean Jensick hits an absolute perfect note here on the speedway, hitting that restart perfectly, opening up a bit of a lead between himself and Christian Delgado. As Delgado there in position number 2, trying to hang on to it, but here comes Zach Lockett is down at a corner number 4. We see the white flag fly. The 93 ride goes around, collects the 3 ride of Ira Colas. Colas is a 360, slams up into the outside fence, as down the back straightaway for the final time here this evening in our second playoff race here of the season. The 19 ride on cruise control will pick up the checkered flag here this evening. A lot of things happening here on this final lap, but we do know that the Anything EC Sparkle and Shine number 19 ride of Sean Jensick is going to pick up the checkered flag. Is the 48 ride going to come in and give him a body slam there? I'm not sure what that was for. Maybe not happy with how the 13 ride got moved into quarter number 3 there. Now I'm not sure if that was entirely the 19 ride's fault or if he completely deserved that or not, but nonetheless, he ran virtually a perfect race here all evening long. At one point in time, out to almost a 12-second lead here over the rest of the field, including our second place driver, a 12-second lead advantage here. And then some caution flags midway through this race made things a little bit more exciting for all these competitors. But at the end of the night, as the dust settles here at North Wilkesboro Speedway, the 19 of Sean Jensick is going to pick up that checkered flag and put himself into victory lane. Man, what a run and what a drive right there for Mr. Jensick. Man, that was a great run and a great drive there for the 19 machine as he'll pull himself up into victory lane. But we're going to take a look back and see what happened here. The Zach Lockett is unfortunately for the Locked-in Lockett number 93 ride, battling here for position number, sitting here battling for position number 2 with the 13 of Christian Delgado. Unfortunately for him, coming out of corner number 4, he gets a good run, washes up the racetrack here a little bit, makes some contact with that 13 ride. I think as he makes that contact, just trying to stay off of the 13, trying not to drive him up into the outside fence, he's going to get very, very loose, and unfortunately, he goes around as the 13 ride of Delgado still ends up making contact with that outside wall. And as you see this 93 ride going around, here comes Ira Colas right there, the good wrench number 3 ride gets back up into the outside fence there for Ira, and unfortunately for the 82 rider Christopher DeWalt, he's going to get some contact into that one as well. But down and out of corner number 2, just driving away here after that restart, Sean Jensick drives to the checkered flag as we do see McKellar there in second. John McNeil battling hard here, door to door, the 13 right and across the line. He will jump up into position number 3 here on the speedway as Christian Delgado and Bryce Dickinson going to round out our top 5. So the E&D Farms, Papa Mike Promotions, Mama Bear, Sweet Tea Gang, Peacemaker Racing Team number 84 ride will come home here with a solid top 5 run here this evening. But it's all Sean Jensick, as Jensick picks up the win, pulls his ride up here into the North Wilkesboro victory lane here this evening. We'll get ready to pull this number 19 ride up into victory lane here this evening, man. After a great run and a great drive, let's get him up here into the booth for his post-race interview, as we're waiting on him to jump in there. There he is. We see him in the Rev Racing area, so we'll pull him into the booth here in just a moment. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't, make sure you hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, and congratulate not only our race winner, but all these drivers putting on a fabulous race for us here all evening. As Carol says, great job, Andrew. Andrew coming home with a solid ninth place run there in that 29 machine. And Brycey Bear says, hey, top five, not bad, Brycey Bear, not bad, brother, for just showing up to show off that nice new paint scheme. You did a lot more than just show that car off, brother. A great run there, especially late in the race, putting yourself up and into position, as we'll pull in our race winner, Sean Jensick, up in to the broadcast booth. Hey, Sean, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Taking a copy?
I got you.
Sean, brother, man, what a run, what a race for you here in this one. As early on, we saw you take that race lead on the outside of John McNeil. You were able to take the early race lead here, and he battled with you there for a little bit, stayed to your inside there for, that lap, and then kind of stayed right in your back bumper, putting a little bit of pressure on you there for quite a little while as you two pulled away from the rest of the field. I thought for certain you two were going to duke it out here throughout this evening, and it's two fast cats, but all of a sudden, his car started to fall off. Your car just staying consistent out there on the speedway. You start to pull away, and pull away is exactly what you did, as you open up an enormous lead advantage, put a lot of our other drivers laps down out there on the speedway, and at one point in time, over 10 seconds, it was double digits. I think you got almost up to 12 seconds between yourself and our second place driver here in this race before we saw that first yellow flag come out right around our midway point. And then from that point on, it was a bit of a dogfight. A couple little breaks here and there. You were able to open up leads again, here, there, and a little bit of a drive. And then, an abundance of caution flags kind of late in this race to really mix things up, to really make things a little bit more difficult for you. We see you again in there in that third spot. The first time you're restarting outside the top spot here on the racetrack, and down the back straightaway, you got a good run on the 13 right of Christian Delgado. You're trying to work down to his inside. He comes down over your nose there. You guys make a little bit of contact. He slides up the racetrack into the 48 right of John McNeil. Then we saw obviously McNeil getting into you down in quarter number 1, and you go for a skid. You're able to save it, able to keep the car pointed in the right direction and in the race lead. Unfortunately, though, for McNeil, having to go to the back of the field to work himself back up through for a third place finish. But man, take us back kind of through this race, through some of those big leads that you had out there on the speedway, how you were able to keep this car so fast and so clean here throughout the evening, and then take us back through that contact there with you in the 13 ride, and then the contact between you and the 48 down in quarter number 1.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, other than that incident, it was a pretty uneventful race here for me. I was, I knew I was going to be able to run away with it, as long as I didn't screw up my pit strategy. Just based off of those first maybe like 3-4 laps, I mean, I was running maybe 60-70%. And I could just kind of see how hard John was driving into the corner. So, I mean, I knew I started driving a little bit harder, bringing up pace a little bit. And then once I got myself up to about a second lead, just started dropping it again, just keeping myself at a comfortable pace. And, I was really happy with how that first run turned out. I mean, like you said, I was on my way to, lapping the entire field there, which would have been nice, but I mean, definitely would have been uneventful and maybe gotten a little bit boring there to the end. I mean, these races are just a whole lot of fun once you get to that point when you're doing 60 laps green. But, obviously, that one incident there, I mean, obviously I feel terrible about that, but I mean, I got a run coming out of 2 and took them under. I mean, obviously my intention wasn't to get into any of those guys and wreck them. I definitely was trying to put them into an uncomfortable position for sure. But I obviously I didn't want them to get together. But looking back at the replay, it did look like I hopped on the brakes a little early and to try and get out of it, and I just didn't hop on them hard enough, I guess. And Christian came down in front of me, and obviously sent him through the grass and up on old John. Obviously I do feel terrible about that, but I don't feel like it was necessarily, my fault. I mean, I guess you can blame me for taking him 3 wide, but we're racing here. So obviously I'm happy those two guys were able to bounce back and still finish in, you know, great positions here. Those two guys were fast all night for sure. But yeah, I mean, other than that, just hoping to keep building that lead towards the end on those late restarts, and was able to do that, take it by over a second. So it all worked out there in the end for me.
Absolutely, definitely works out for you in the end of this race as you're able to pull yourself up into victory lane. Now, take us through, that pace lap after picking up the checkered flag. Obviously, a big win, knowing that you punched your ticket into the playoffs here in the SlingShot Sim Racing Series. So you're able to punch your ticket right on through into round number 2. Now, when we go to the next racetrack, you don't have to worry as much. You don't have to really worry about the points or being able to make the cut or not. I know you were probably already pretty good on the points, but being able to work yourself right on through is going to feel pretty good, knowing that you can jump right in and focus more on the next round of races here for the SlingShot Sim Racing Series playoffs.
Oh, it definitely feels great. Takes a whole lot of that pressure, I guess, off of me to perform next week at Bristol. I mean, I hate that track. Let me tell you. I also kind of feel like in a shorter track like this, able to control my own race better than somewhere like Bristol where that Bristol's so high speed, you don't really know. I mean, you only have a certain amount of time to go check up if there's a wreck in front of you, and your race can be over in a blink of an eye, or at least if there's one here. I feel like you got enough time to kind of process and get the car slowed up and, avoid it pretty well. So it definitely feels great moving on to round 2. That's where I feel like I'll start hitting my stride again. Got some great tracks coming up for me round 2. Hopefully keep building that momentum, keep going all the way.
Absolutely, brother. Now, take us back here through that pace lap. After the checkered flag, we did see some contact there between you and the 48 rider, John McNeil. Do you feel like that was a congratulations bump, or do you think that was, hey, I didn't appreciate you getting into Christian, that ended up giving him quite a bit more damage on that 48 ride?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely wasn't a congratulations bump there. But, I mean, I hope that John does look back at it at the wreck and, see that it just wasn't me just driving it over my head. And I mean, I backed out early, and I mean, it's unfortunate, it is, but I mean, he was able to bounce back in the third. So again, I don't think he was winning it anyway, so I couldn't be too pissed off if I were him.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Sean, you pick up the win here at North Wilkesboro Speedway. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and great drive here this evening?
Yeah, I mean, as always, I like to give a big thank you to Sean over at Sparkle and Shine Anything You See. I mean, he does a whole bunch for a whole team. I know my teammates haven't been able to make it in a while. Hopefully see him again soon. So it's always fun racing with them. Got a little quiet, a little boring for me tonight, but hopefully be back soon and keep up the fun energy and fun times going. Last thanks to John putting on the league, you put on the broadcast. I mean, great as always. So see you next week.
Absolutely, brother. We can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack next Wednesday, and hopefully we'll see you right back up here, potentially in victory lane, or at least back up here in the broadcast booth. But, Sean, a great run, a great drive, and congratulations on picking up the win here in the SlingShot Sim Racing Series, live from the beautiful North Wilkesboro Speedway.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for Sean Jensick as Jensick picks up the checkered flag and pulls himself into victory lane here this evening. A huge shout out to Garrett Smithley. Garrett coming in with the raid over on Twitch, coming in showing the big love here in this one. Garrett coming in showing the love here tonight, raiding us over there on the Twitch broadcast. That is absolutely insane. Amazing to see Garrett Smithley, an amazing NASCAR driver, an amazing career, and Garrett, not only a NASCAR driver, but a Twitch streamer as well, coming in with the big raid over there on the Twitch stream. I appreciate that, brother, coming in, showing the love here in this one. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, you were able to catch the little bit of the interview of our race winner, so you guys don't get the surprise here of who was able to pick up the win here tonight. But since we got the raid, we got the viewers in here watching and showing the love over there on Twitch, we will take you back through our final couple laps here at North Wilkesboro Speedway before we pull in our second place finisher for their post-race interview. So a late race restart Caution flag came out a couple laps beforehand. We're going to see a green-white checkered finish here. The 19 rider Sean Jensick has been the car to beat here all evening long, but there's a lot of tough competitors battling back here behind him. The pace car makes that hard left-hand turn back down pit side as we see them go down through the Geico restart zone. The 19 of Sean Jensick back onto the lap pedal. The Anything EC ride looking to separate himself as much as possible from the drivers back there behind him. Down the back straightaway and out of quarter number 2. He's able to open up that lead a little bit more as they battle back there for a second. A little bit of contact, and around goes the 93 of Zach Lockett. Lockett comes back up the track, collects the 3 machine, the Dale Earnhardt throwback paint scheme of Ira Colas, and the 82 ride of Christopher DeWald. And now we see Jensick for the final time down through quarter number 3 and out at quarter number 4, and he's able to bring that Anything EC number 19 ride up and in to victory lane here at the historic and amazing North Wilkesboro Speedway. We can't thank all these drivers enough for coming out and showing up and putting on a great race here for us, right down to the checkered flag. And here's that bump we were talking about right there for the 48 and the 19 ride. Sean definitely knew that was not a congratulations for picking up the win kind of a bump. That was a we do not appreciate you beating us up here all evening long. At one point in time, we saw the 19 ride out to a 12-second lead advantage here on the evening. It was definitely the car to beat here this evening. A little bit of late race contact, unfortunately, put the 19 getting contact in with the 13 ride of Christian Delgado, who goes up into that 48 ride, causing contact and a caution flag between John McNeil in the 48 and the 13 ride out there on the speedway. And that's where you see that love bump after the finish here this evening, as we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher as Garrett Smithley coming in, hitting that follow button. Garrett, welcome to the Peacemaker family. Welcome to the Peacemaker crew, my dude, coming in showing the big love here in this one, dropping the big raid and showing the love here with the big follow here this evening, as we'll get ready to pull William McKellar up into the broadcast booth here, coming home in position number 2 out there on the speedway for McKellar. We'll pull him up into the broadcast booth as a great run and a great drive for the 75 ride. We'll get him up here into the broadcast booth. Hey William, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Taking a copy?
I got you. You got me?
I got you. Well, man, a good run, a good race here for you throughout the night. Kind of a little bit of back and forth, but you're hanging out, up inside the top 10, top 5 here all evening long. And then a lot of beating and banging, a lot of bumping back there throughout the field. We did see you go around late in this race, but you get that 75 right pointed back in the right direction. You're able to work yourself through a little bit more of the chaos there late in this one and pull yourself up here onto the podium and into position number 2 here on the speedway.
Yeah, I don't know if you're much of a wrestling fan, but when it comes to my style driving in iRacing, I know when I'm out of my depth, so I try and channel some of my inner CM Punk. When I'm out of my depth, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put myself in a position to where I'm really going to be uncomfortable, and I'm going to have to adapt and overcome. And tonight was not one of those nights for me. I just could not seem to figure this track out. It was through the luck of the draw with those cautions there after halfway that got me up there into the top 5. And then when I saw Christian, and I think it was Zach Lockett, when those two got out of shape there coming to 1 to go, I had to channel my inner rated R superstar. Christian was out of shape. I was like, I got to go 4 tires turn, 8 tires turn better than 4. I used him up a little bit and got that second place, and this luck, that's how I got there. I didn't think I'd finish better than 8th.
Absolutely. Well, sometimes you gotta be a little bit more lucky than good out there on the speedway, and you're able to find some holes out there on the speedway and work yourself up into position number 2 here this evening. William, who would you like to thank for a great run and a great drive here in playoff race number 2 for the SlingShot Sim Racing Series?
Well, I got to start by thanking my wife for letting me do this. I got to thank John Ross and Russell Martin and Ron Luzzi and all our admins. They do a fantastic job. I got to thank again John Fowler for coming up with this whole idea. Man, I wish he'd sent us to Rockingham to fill out this, road course slot instead of Wilkesboro. But hey, you can't complain too much when you come home on the podium. I got to thank you for going ahead and doing this broadcast. Be fantastic to go back and look at and see, maybe study what Sean Jensick was doing, because that guy was in a league of his own tonight. Got to thank all of our sponsors, and I got to thank God himself, most of all.
Absolutely, brother. Thank God as well out there, giving you all the love and blessings here in this one, and the God above giving you a great run and a great drive here this evening. Is that 75 ride coming home in position number 2 as the cream of the crop, number 75 ride, able to get a good run and a good drive here this evening, and gaining a lot of points right there. You got to feel pretty good, pretty comfy kind of deal going into our third race here of the playoffs, knowing that after Bristol Motor Speedway next week, it is a cut race. So some drivers getting removed from our playoffs. How you feeling about your chances of making it through to round number 2?
Well, I got to think back to when we ran Bristol back in the spring. I want to say up until a late race caution, I want to say when we ran Bristol in the spring, I was pretty fast. Now I know that iRacing has updated the track and the car a little bit since then. I was doing some testing today, and it feels weird. I can't get within 2/10 of my best time from back in the spring. So it's going to be a lot of trying to figure out how to go ahead and adapt to the new feel of the track. I mean, the top still feels fast, but that bottom feels little slicker, a little faster. So it's going to be, I think, the same game plan next week that was this week. Survive. And if I can get out of there with a top 10, I think I'm surviving to the next round. And then we get to go to some tracks that I'm actually good at. We get to go to some 1.5 miles. I love me some 1.5 miles. So that's going to be fun, I think.
Absolutely, brother. Well, we can't wait to see how it all plays out for you, and hopefully we'll see you up here making some more trips into the broadcast booth, and hopefully one of these nights before, it's a must-win situation for yourself, hopefully we'll see you up here in Victory Lane and potentially punching your ticket through to either, round 2 or round 3 here coming up in the next couple weeks.
Yep. Thank you very much. I look forward to it.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and congratulations again on the second place run.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for William McKellar as McKellar coming home here in position number 2. A great run and a great drive there for that 75 ride as we're going to get ready to pull in our third place finisher here this evening. Our third place driver, the 48 of John McNeil, coming home here in that third and final podium position on the evening from North Wilkesboro Speedway. Hey, John, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Take a copy.
I got you there, Aaron. How's it going?
Not too bad, John, brother. A good race, a good battle early on as you in the 19 run a Sean Jensick battle door-to-door on the opening lap. He's able to get the advantage on you there, but you hang right there with him, keeping yourself on his back bumper, putting the pressure there to him until about 10 laps into this race. All of a sudden, I don't know if either your car started to fall off a little bit or you just got a little bit quicker out there, maybe a little bit more consistent, and that 19 ride opened up a big lead there, but then we saw some, a little bit of contact, a little bit of chaos throughout the middle of this race, brought you right back there towards the front of the field, and then we saw contact there as the 19 and the 13 make contact down low. Unfortunately, the 13 goes up and into you, and we thought maybe your night may be ruined as after a lot of front end damage already on that 48 ride, getting up into the outside fence and then getting hard into that 13 ride, could have caused quite a bit of damage there on that front right of the 48 ride.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of a crazy race, especially there. And I'm sure there's quite a bit of controversy, and Sean probably has some different opinions about that drama. But, I just got to the point. I'm just frustrated. There's about 3 wins that I had an opportunity to at least be there, and then getting involved in a wreck at the last right near the end, or something kind of dumb like this. And it's kind of rough, and but we're in the right track. And man, I just felt like there was a little bit too much aggression there. He obviously knows he has the speed. He didn't have to put us all in that situation and bully his way through. But yeah, back to what you said as well about early on is it was awesome being able to get the pole. And then there on the opening lap, I was having some frame rate things where I wasn't able to be as confident racing around him. Clearly he had the speed and would have gone. And so I just kind of settled in a bit there and then didn't try to like put a lot of pressure on him. And then I started to, my right front was getting pretty warm. And so then I fell back and kind of took it easy there.
Absolutely, but throughout this race, you're able to kind of continue to rebound and work yourself back up through the field and through some of the chaos that happened out there on the speedway, and you're able to finish it all off with a solid third place run here. So even after all the issues and the contact and the damage that you got in that 48 run, you're able to survive and come out of this race with a pretty good race result and a pretty good points day here at the speedway.
Oh, absolutely. Getting that stage win was huge halfway through the race when everybody else pitted. I also would have loved to actually be able to race toe-to-toe with Sean. I thought it was a little unfair, his comment saying he wasn't going to win anyway, when I never raced, had been an opportunity to race him hard. Sure, he's fast. And him and I have had a lot of respect. I've sent him a couple messages after some races and stuff. I just feel like, you know, when you got that kind of speed, you gotta have patience with that as well. And, you know, I wasn't holding the one or him low. You know, I was giving him plenty of room. And then sure, it wasn't drive in and run into him, but it was, I'm not going to give you any room. And contact happened. And here we stand.
Absolutely a tough break right there, but you're able to still rebound, survive that contact, survive the mayhem down through 3 and 4, and then back down through corner number 1, and you park yourself up here in third. John, who would you like to thank still for such a great run and strong performance here tonight by yourself?
Absolutely. Definitely to John Ross and John Fowler for originally creating the league, and then, you know, McNeil Media on my car. And then can't thank my teammates enough and the guys over at Red Sea, but it's awesome racing with my teammates and having people, that fun camaraderie. Honestly, this has been a really fun league. I know here when the pressure's been on, tension gets high, and then, you know, you kind of have a dislike for people in a sense, or at least that's the way it seems. But it's been awesome to race around all these guys, including, you know, my non-teammates. You know, you see them week to week, you kind of get to know them, and we got a lot of awesome guys here. And Slingshot, it's a great league.
Absolutely a great league. A lot of great competitors out there on the racetrack. John, congratulations on the third place run here tonight. Hopefully we'll see you back out there at Bristol next week, and maybe right back up here in the booth, maybe a couple spots better and up in yourself.
That's the plan. Thanks, Aaron.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your evening.
You as well. Bye.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher here in that 48 ride. John McNeil clearly not very happy with the contact between the 19 and the 13 that ended up creating a lot of chaos and a lot of damage there for the 48 ride, but it's good to see him be able to rebound and survive this race and still come out of it with a pretty good run here on the evening, but definitely clearly felt like that was not needed, and the contact between those two was definitely out of line out there on the racetrack. You got a feel for him, man. He was up there, as he said, gave him lots of room. He was out of the way. He was just kind of trying to battle for the race lead and potentially what could have been the race win late in this race, and all of a sudden kind of getting steamrolled up there on the high side, and really just nowhere for him to go. Nothing he could do there. That was kind of out of his hands, out of his control, and definitely not feeling good about that one. A tough break there for John, and we look forward to seeing him out there at Bristol and maybe get some payback, or maybe, you know, putting a whooping on the rest of the field here and seeing that 48 ride up in victory lane. That's the best way to, you know, to make a statement there and have himself a statement race next Wednesday here with the SlingShot Sim Racing Series. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is going to do it for us here on the evening. Unfortunately, that will be the end of our night. We can't thank you guys enough for tuning in and showing the love here all evening long, man. All the likes, the comments, the shares. I appreciate each and every single one of you. Everyone coming in with the love over on Twitch as well. Garrett Smithley coming in with a big raid, showing the big love here in this one, and everyone coming in, all the new new followers, subscribers, welcome again to the Peacemaker family. Welcome to the Peacemaker crew coming in, showing the love here this evening and in this amazing broadcast. The SlingShot Sim Racing Series will be back in action next Wednesday, but we will be back live again tomorrow as we get a brand new series underway, as we're going to see the 358 Modifieds back on dirt track here tomorrow night. A brand new series for the Southern Racing Association is going to be a ton of fun. It's going to be very exciting. A lot of big names of the best in dirt racing will be in attendance and duking it out. As Elbows Up Dirt Track Racing is our bread and butter, and we can't wait to see those guys back out there on the racetrack for a little 358 action. Unfortunately, though, that is going to do it for us here this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I can't thank you guys enough again for tuning in and showing the love here all night long, and I will see you guys all back here tomorrow night. But thank you all for watching. I'll see y'all later, as we'll give a quick shout out to my dude, my boy Dude Guy, coming in showing the love over there on Facebook. How are you, dude? Dude coming in showing the love late in this one. Dude, unfortunately, brother, I'm just hopping off. Josh Schmidt says, keep trying, Ty Dickinson. You'll get there. He will get there. I'm sure we'll see Ty, Mr. Sweet Tea himself, up here, for a podium run, maybe a race win, some solid top fives here in the near future. I think he's really going to come into his own here, by the end of this season. I think he's going to have some great runs in that 67 ride. But listen, can't thank y'all enough for tuning in, and I'll see y'all later. Peace out for now, baby. Peace out for now, ladies and gentlemen.
Where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight minigolf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Grow your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes, where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight minigolf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Grow your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes.